Dude, God reprogrammed my mind.
Praise God.
I'd never read a book before. Started reading the Bible,
Man.
and God reprogrammed my mind.
That's it.
Then I got like a really good degree. I got a degree in physics.
Okay.
Got a master's degree in engineering.
Look, man,
Bro,
look at that.
saying
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
I mean, that's God.
Yeah.
Because I started reading the Bible, and it even says that in there. Like, you start putting the word in, he reprograms your mind.
He reprograms your mind. He does.
It's crazy.
He does.
So like, you feel like when you were remembering who you were, so you had that crusade, but you start really diving into the word too?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, the word is everything. And yeah, like I started to read a lot. And not only the Bible, like read books. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like read about entrepreneurship, read about psychology, read about how humans think. Like, a lot of people just go Bible, okay. And going back to the last podcast that I did, they asked me, okay, Rechy, how did you do it? I said, okay, I not only tapped into my higher power, but I reprogrammed my mind. There's certain books for you to read to reprogram your mind. The Bible isn't just going to do it all. Okay, that's the spiritual aspect, but there's also a mental regeneration that you have to do yourself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I read the Bible, but I started to read about Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, I believe.
Yeah.
I started to read about Joseph Murphy, Bob Proctor. I started to read different books about the mind, how people think. I started to read about BJ Fogg, Tiny Habits. I started to read about small little books to personal development. And that's what really reprogrammed my mind. The Bible was one, yes, but I also dived into other books as well to reprogram my subconscious mind.
Wow. Dude, that's amazing.
Yes, sir.
That's so cool. I haven't even read some of those books of those guys. You need to put me on.
Yeah, yeah, man, I will. I mean, there's a lot of resources out there, but we need to be determined to actually go for it. How determined are you right now to change your life? How determined are you right now to actually say, hey, you know what? I'm tired of just living in my pain, but I'm gonna turn my pain into purpose. How, like, what is it gonna take for it to fully ingrain in your mind that, hey, you know what? I need to change my life, and I need to do it now. When do you want money? I want it now. Mm-hmm. When do you want to change? I want it now. When do you want to build a house, Jake? I want it now. You got to have that mentality, bro, that you want it now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
It's got to be right now.
Got to be right now. Because time isn't going to wait for you.
Sometimes I feel like I put things off into the future. Why do we need it now? Why now?
We need it now because tomorrow isn't promised.
It's got to be right now.
Tomorrow isn't promised, yeah. Tomorrow isn't promised, my brother.
Like
right now, I can, God forbid, after this podcast.
Yeah.
I drive and I get into a reckless car accident and I die. God forbid. Things like that happen, Jake.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
All the time. But when I die, am I going to die on full or am I going to die on empty? That's the question that you should be asking yourself right now. Mm-hmm. If you were to die today, are you going to be satisfied with your life? If you were to die today, are you going to die on full or on empty? That is the first question that you should always reflect and meditate the moment you get up. If you were to die today, will you be satisfied? And it's a deep question.
It's a deep question.
And at times I ask myself, hey, you know what, Rechy, what am I doing today? Just the other day, someone called me on the phone, like literally yesterday as I'm driving. Hey, Coach Rechy, you've inspired me. Thank you so much. This and that, this and that. And I'm like, bro, I didn't even know. But I'm living my life, Jake, at a speed where I want to give it my all, bro.
Dude, I can see that. And I feel that. And you are.
Yeah.
Like you look at the trajectory of where you were to what you're doing now. It's awesome, man. It's motivating to see you so young, like getting after it. Like I wish, I wish I would have, because I made some changes later in life. I mean, I was doing all right, but like, the path that you're on now.
Yeah.
So let's go back to some of that stuff. So you decided to, clean up. You got out. You started reading. Have you ever stayed in touch with anybody from the past?
Yes, I have. But with that being said, too, my brother, I had to let some people go. Because I once read in my favorite book that bad company ruins good morals. So there were some people I had to drop. There were some people that I had to still work on, but I'm not going to work on you if you don't want to change.
Yeah.
Like there's a friend of mine, I'm not gonna say his name. He's currently in jail. At times I'll pour into him. At times I'll call him, he'll call me. I'll tell him, hey, how are you doing? Are you doing this or are you doing that? I'll coach him.
Yeah.
So there's some people that I stayed in touch with, and there's some people that I just had to frankly just drop, you know what I'm saying? Because they weren't going the same route that I was going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, you know what's interesting about that? I know it sounds kind of harsh, and like I recently had a situation where I did drop somebody.
Wow.
And, you know, a lot of people kind of drop themselves.
Ooh, that's deep. I like that. Wait. Repeat that one more time, my brother.
So a lot of people drop themselves. Like I won't have to drop them. They'll just fall off, right? You know, if I'm really going in my right direction, if I'm, you know, on my purpose, working out in the word, doing my things, you know, and that's opposed to them, they'll quit hitting me up, you know, like we'll kind of go different ways. But something happened recently where I was like, man, like tried to connect with them, tried to do certain things, but it's like, our values are different.
It's different.
It's different. And it's not only is it different, it's like, I don't care, bro, if you're really successful or not. But if you've got the hunger and humility, let's go.
That's it.
Let's go.
That's it.
It doesn't matter where you're at, but like you've got to, and I think that's kind of why Jesus picked the 12. Because if you think about it, I mean, who were they, right? Why did he pick them? I think he picked them because like their hearts, their you know, opportunity. Right. Like Jesus denied them 3 times the night he was getting killed, you know, the night he was crucified. But just a couple days later, you know, a couple weeks later, you should say like on Pentecost or whatever, dude's a beast. People are getting saved.
People are getting saved.
That transformation of Peter is crazy.
It is.
Even Paul. Like you look at all the apostles, man, they all died violent deaths. Except Judas, you know, that happened. But
you see, Judas, he fell off by himself based off of what you said earlier.
He fell off, yeah.
Exactly. So some people just end up dropping themselves. So Judas was a part of the team, but Judas just dropped himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
Straight up.
And yeah, you know what? Like I think about the whole Judas thing like kind of often, I think.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know why. I think about it like, God, if you really knew if you knew that Judas was going to betray you, why'd you pick him? And there's a couple answers to that, right?
Yeah.
Like, he gave him an opportunity. He loved him still. You know, and it's just like crazy to me that like Jesus, God, had the wherewithal to love until the end.
Wow.
Even to people who hated him or betrayed him.
Yeah. Love never fails, my brother.
That's crazy, man.
Love never fails.
Like if you knew I was going to backstab you to the core, would you still love me? I don't know if I could love somebody like that.
As humans, by default, we all hate each other, man. I'm going to be 100%.
We do.
By default.
By default.
By default. It's going to take... Now, look, the audience, I love you guys. From the bottom of my heart, I love you guys. But the old me would not love you guys, okay? But why do I say I love you guys? I can say that I love you guys sincerely because, number one, I tapped into my higher power.
That's right.
Number two, I reprogrammed my mind. Bro, do you know how much hate there is in this world now, man? Like,
too much.
Too much hate. Like, bro, like, we live in a world now, like, you just have to love now, man.
You gotta love, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's too much racism. There's too much hate. There's too much politics. There's too much division.
Yeah.
There's too much all of that for us not to love. And that's why we all have a light to shine here on earth. Like, I was incarcerated, but I was still shining my light. I was a bad person, and I was still shining my light in these cells.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why is that? Because I realized that life is short. And number two, that we need to live lives as it was our last. When I die, And in my funeral, I want as much people talking positive things than negative things about me, man.
Mm-hmm.